We've offended him, Sven. The woodland spirit seeks revenge. This here is him saying we've strayed from the old paths.
Offended him? The monster's killed 5 already. He doesn't give a rat's arse about paths or tracks or me or you. He's a ploughing beast from the ploughing forest.
These forests have a terrible temper. Nature itself will come crashing down when called by its master. Gnarled branches to entrap you, crows to pluck at your eyes, and wolves to tear at your limbs. Deep in the ancient parts of the world, Leshens and Spriggans watch over their woodland domains. It's appropriate to first talk about Leshens, as Spriggans can be considered a subspecies, a close relation with much applying to both monsters. Leshens, in their physical form, are made up of the same elements of the forest in which they can be found. Mementos of both life and death can be seen on their bodies. A stag's skull and antlers, the tattered cloth of the reaper, both signalling death, while the mossy, earthy makeup of their form and the gnarled talons represent their connection to the ecosystem of the forest. Perhaps there is some symbiotic relationship between all the living things in a Leshens domain, but we do not fully understand its magics and the greater extent of its power, for it does not always exist in this form. It has the ability to transport itself in a murder of crows and a rising black smoke. It appears to be able to completely vanish on a whim and blend amongst the trees, unseen. Leshens have the ability to assume control over beasts such as wolves and crows, and we use them as agents to track any trespassers. They are its eyes and ears when it is not present in a physical form. They can also command the roots of trees to rush forth out of the earth to ensnare the Leshens victim. They are ruthless protectors, and will not distinguish between a man, a child, or a simple hunter trespassing ancient land. They have become synonymous with granting the boon of plentiful game and testing the strength and tenacity of a keen warrior. Common folk begin to worship the creatures as lesser gods. Some hope that with offerings and worship they can sate the Lord of the Woods, and it will grant them strength over their enemies and strong sons to continue their line. But these are common folk and know little about the reality of this monster. The reality is that it kills indiscriminately if provoked, but if left well enough alone, one can assume why continual offerings and sacrifices would make villagers presume they are honouring and adhering to the creature's wants and needs.
We must return to the old path, restore the old ways, roam the woods with knife and spear, fight on even terms and prove our valour. That would please him.
A Leshen is no god either way. It is a monster, and can be killed like one by a capable witcher. From the harsh landscapes of Velen and Skellige, we travel to the pleasant duchy of Toussaint. The Spriggans, however, are no more pleasant than their cousins. They have an affinity for the natural order of plant life, and their being is intertwined with budding flowers, toadstools and mossy vines. Like the Leshens, they too can command the trees to uproot themselves into some unfortunate creature that wandered too near its lair. Spriggans hate the sight of plants being destroyed, especially if it has been nurtured and guarded over by them. They will immediately seek out the perpetrator and crush them as easily as a dandelion. Instead of wolves and crows like the Leshens, Spriggans can assume control over the archospores, the vibrant cursed plants that spit a deadly toxin. Occasionally, Spriggans will attack human settlements, much like Leshens, as humans have expanded outwards, getting much too close to the outlined woods and territory of the woodland spirits. That's what witches are for, I guess. One Spriggan showed a particular interest in children's shoes. It has been said that they can devour more flesh than an army at a wedding. So there's that grim detail to take away with you. All in all, both Leshens and Spriggans are not creatures to be taken lightly. It is easy to get turned around and lost in winding paths of ancient forests. And if you're unfortunate enough to step foot into one of these creatures' lairs, then, well, good luck if you're no witcher. You'll need it.
I so don't feel like going anywhere. Sit here a while longer?